Hey, my name is Angela. I'm a beginner seamstress and welcome to Sewing My Pinterest Board.
Hey, I'm a diva. You a diva?
Today we are starting a purple lace dress. The boat neck or the Sabrina necklines goes back to the 1920s with a French origin, progressively being popularized by the infamous Coco Chanel. It's one of my favorite necklines, to be honest with you. It accentuates the collarbone and the shoulder, and I must say the lace edition was just so that we could have a little bit of fun. I created a pattern with a dress I already had, but I changed the hem to have the scallop effect. So it's time for the bust dart. So I measured the length, found the midpoint, and made the bust dart to start from there. I noticed my leopard dress had one, and this is to avoid any gaping by the bust. So the main adjustments here are the princess seams in the front and in the back. This was actually my first time cutting the princess seam, and it probably took me the longest to figure out. But it's like creating a really big dart in the middle that you end up cutting out anyway, so that you now have two panels that follow the natural curve of a woman's body. I don't know, man, I'm new here. And the bust darts on the front. Now I actually removed the tape that held the bust dart in place for the back pattern because, you know, thankful to God, we actually don't have boobs on our back. So I don't need a bust dart for the back. However, I think the issue I made here was that obviously I've already added 2 centimeters to the back, but now removing the bust dart makes it a bit longer. So I feel like I didn't actually need to add those 2 centimeters, but I didn't realize that until I actually made the dress. If you have a good eye, you would have spotted earlier that my leopard dress was wider than my actual pattern. And I didn't want to cut it again, so I just said I would add 1.5 inches for the real thing. Now we are going to start with a toile because we are not going to be that person that spends money when you could have avoided mistakes by just simply doing a toile in calico or muslin. I obviously have to catch up with The Chosen Season 4 before the premiere. Claro que sí, obvio. Habla español un poquito. I can't watch it. Thomas is walking past, Quintus, whatever his name is, this silly guy, with a sword. I'm confused there because obviously he can't die because he's Thomas. So he has to be there when Jesus rises from the dead. But I don't understand if it's like he's gonna kill him. So I don't want to watch it alone. I want you guys to watch it with me because I'm crying. I've stopped it like 3 times and I can't watch it. Okay, let's play. Oh my gosh, no, I can't do it. I can't. No. My mother had to intervene because I was screaming too loud.
Stop watching it. Do your work.
No, mommy, I need to watch it.
Okay, I'm talking to her.
No.
Angela, Angela, one thing,
Mommy,
if
please,
if you know it's not helping you.
No, Mommy, I have to watch it, please. No.
But it's not helping
Oh,
you.
Mommy, go. It's okay.
Then do your work.
I'm doing it.
You have to choose what to do. Either you stop this thing and watch it. Watch it.
I'm doing it.
Then stop that one. I hear your voice again.
I feel like he's gonna kill Rama. And because Rama's not part of the story, but then they're meant to get married. I can't watch it. I can't. Okay, I'm not going to take it apart because it's just a toile, but just as you can see, parts like this, it affects the front. Have to always make sure it's flat. Sometimes I just leave it, but then I realize it actually affects the look of the dress. Like, Thomas's face is in the way, sorry. You can see a tiny crease there. We don't like that. The fit of the toile was... Hey guys. Oh, Jesus. So I decided to look a bit more presentable. Well, this isn't very presentable. I simply put a hat on and some glasses and put my lighting up. But I wanted to speak directly to you. Speak direct to you. Essentially, this is our toile. First toile. Amazing, right? Not first ever toile, like first toile for this dress. And we're not going to do another one. Because you don't need to. We got to get started, babe. We got to get started. The chosen is on Friday, okay? Yeah. Actually very happy with how this turned out. It's much better than not that I anticipated. I think I did all the measurements according to what I would have expected. So it should obviously match up. It's just sometimes things go wrong. Simply 2 issues, maybe 3. So this is a little bit gaping. So I thought maybe it would be nicer if it sat a bit straighter. However, I'm deeping that this doesn't have lining, so when you add lining, it's gonna make this come in a little bit like by 1 centimeter, and also the fabric is a bit stiffer, so maybe it would like sit a bit less like floppy. That's my logic. Again, this is not sewing 101. This is not for advanced people. I am simply making things up based on what I think in my head. I'm gonna probably leave it because the worst thing is for it to be super tight. The main change is the back. Sorry for my underarms. If I bring it together, you can see already it's making this whole thing gape, and it's because it's already too big. So the plan is to take in 1 centimeter. This is the back piece. The back piece. So a small amount on this side of 1.5 centimeters because of the zip. However, it's already big. So I'm gonna take off 1 centimeter and only do an extra 0.5 centimeter when I do the actual fabric. And yes, it would affect the waist, but that is okay because the waist, as I'm even holding it now, it already feels like it's a bit too much for the zip. The second change we are making is that the dress, I want it to be more exaggerated by the skirt. This is how it would fit. This is nice. However, I wanted it to have a bit more of an exaggerated bell curve. In terms of like making that adjustment, it's not foreign to me because we did it at work sometimes when customers would want the bell shape to be a bit more customized for them. It just depends on how much I remember basically. But from my understanding, is these 2 panels here and these 2 panels here that have this small slightest change. So essentially I would add, like we kind of eyeballed it, so like you would add like maybe just like a little bit from the waist. You would make it curve out a little bit more towards the end. That's it. And we thank God because it could be so much more. But I think when I add the zip, before this I was contemplating, I was saying no, but now I'm like, okay, I know that I don't want to waste time and I really want to get things kind of done before it gets too dark because I have other things to do. My initial plan was Angela get the toile done, make sure it fits, and then cut out everything, do the notches, everything, so that tomorrow everything's pinned and you can just start sewing and great, it's done. Overall, it's good. Now it's time for the real deal. Let's talk fabric. Fabric. I'm using leftover Duchess satin from a previous project that I was working on, and then I'm using a plain thinner satin to line the dress. The lace is still on its way from Etsy, but I'm super excited. Okay, so guys, I actually initially wanted to go for a lilac contrast style lace, something that complemented this cool toned purple. So I thought, what better than a cool toned lilac, right? But then, I don't know, I decided I actually wanted to go for something closer in color to this, so more of a darker purple, but almost this warmer shade, so kind of like this thread that I have over here. Funny story, y'all, we actually entered a problem. So I didn't have enough fabric I didn't have enough Duchess satin for one pattern. I repeat, one. So what you see here is me cutting out all of the patterns, but the next morning I actually had to rush to the fabric store to get more. This is the front part, so we're about to sew it together. This took forever because you have to keep the lace as flat as possible. So, very delicate. Caution. So this is her. She's almost done. All that's left is the hem and the zip. So we're changing the original foot for the zipper foot so that we can sew as close to the zipper teeth as possible.
When your kisses claim me, you can hardly blame me for what I may do. For they start the dreamer in me, dreaming over you.
So we actually jammed, guys, English term for messed up if you're not from here. We got a different zipper. We didn't get the invisible zipper, but I went with it because it was a day to the event and I said, we don't have time for this. Let's learn to sew a different zipper. This was actually my first time not sewing an invisible zipper and I think I did a pretty good job, kind of. I really hope it turns out well because I don't actually know what it looks like in person, but we're gonna find out. If you have an event like me, guys, oh my goodness, leave room for mistakes. Listen. Ugh. These pins, man. Isn't it just so great? It's so ideal. When you realize you haven't cut the lace on the fold, so you have to discard this entire beautiful lace, and you can't use it for the back as well because the back has a higher neckline, so it won't actually work. So yeah. Isn't it lovely? Great, wasting money. But trust the process because you will be back on track in no time. Whew. Abba, we did it. We did it. Want to see how it turned out? What do you think?